The Yellow House Jalalabad! Come on, boys, we'll finish this one. That's good work, Saladin. The people of Jalalabad asked me to come there because there were no art schools, no film schools, no theatres, absolutely zero for the arts. And even worse than that, bad elements of the Pakistani Taliban were blowing up video stores and attacking the artists. Yeah, I'll put a couple of yellow shapes there and then you paint around them. We'll put a bird. So these guys are what the Yellow House is for. We've got an army of street kids that are coming here to learn film and painting. Saladin wants to be an artist like me, and Zabi wants to be a cameraman. I'm called Baba George. Baba's a term they have for an old Sufi, someone who is old and wise and quite often eccentric, and the Sufis were always artists of one sort or another. God bless you, mate. In the whole time, the 8 years we've been doing the Yellow House, we've often been frightened of things happening to us, but nothing bad has actually happened to us. You're so easy to paint. You've got such a strong spirit. There you are. Most of my scary moments have been worrying for other people. When the police station was attacked, we heard all of the bombing and the glass in our windows broke, but no one actually came and banged on our gate, except kids coming to say, you know what's happening, can we come in and be safe? Stay up here. Everyone go down into the bomb shelter now, okay?
Let's go. Come on, let's go downstairs. Come on.
It came very close to home when Zabi, who's in our film, who's my little apprentice, who's learning to be a filmmaker, got captured by IS, and he was forced. We were terribly worried he was forced to carry guns for them. I was actually sitting in the kitchen of the Yellow House worrying about him, and suddenly this little shadow moves past the windows and comes in, and it's Zabi. He'd escaped from IS and he couldn't express his joy enough. He gagged, he just couldn't get the words out. We're not going to let these bad guys beat us, are we, Zabi? Here's my wonderful friend, the old Sufi in Jalalabad, and recently I got the news that IS or Daesh had found him in the park singing and removed his tongue and cut his throat, and it's just devastating. So I was in the middle of doing all these portraits of him, and I brought them back to the safety of Werry Beach to finish them, and that's my way of dealing with the grief. I'm often in a position where I meet great and brave people and sadly see them killed by the conflict. You know, it's necessary for me to make sure they're not forgotten.
What does the Sydney Peace Prize mean to you?
It's an acknowledgement that creative people make things, they don't destroy stuff. So all my life I've been going to war zones. I saw the destruction of Baghdad, I've seen the destruction of Gaza and all this destruction through war. And for me, it's been enough just to create in the face of it, to be making stuff.
Make art, not war. This is the Yellow House.
Here's the other half of the Australian creative team at the Yellow House. We're surrounded by all these wonderful Afghans, but there's only one Helen.
How do you feel about George receiving the Peace Prize?
He's my hero. He's one hell of a tough guy. He might say that he doesn't deserve it, but I know he does.
George is a former student of Cogra High School, was here in the early 1960s.
Hey guys, you're the first people to see this. It's on giant billboards all over Sydney, and it's the thing that I painted for the Sydney Peace Prize. Every 15 minutes, a predator, an unmanned drone, goes over our Yellow House. And they've got rockets on them when they leave and they come back without rockets. As someone who's always hated war and been against the military, that's what this painting's all about. You might be studying to become artists and you might think, well, maybe a soldier or an engineer or a doctor can do more to try and help, you know, against war and bring peace. But actually your talents of communication are what are really, really needed. Now you've done your pencil, here's some charcoal. So Monu's Sunni and Hussein's Shia, and yet they're best mates. If you do what I do for long enough, you become an optimist. I think a lot of people look at the world and think it's so bad there's nothing that I can do, but you really can make a difference. Starting school today.